What's going on, everybody? Saul Sunforge for Dungeons and Taverns. Hopefully you all have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas. This is uploaded Christmas Eve. I recorded this a few days before that, but I'm letting you know that I'm going to go ahead and give you about 4 videos to 6 videos for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for you guys to have stuff to watch. I'm going to be making them those days, and so I'll be working to hopefully provide you something that you want to watch. This is session 6 of my sci-fi map making, where I create a map for you, the viewer, to download via Google Drive link pinned in the comment section of the final video. I try to edit the series, each video down to under a half hour, ideally 20 minutes or less, for your viewing consideration. So a lot of the changes I make are truncated. You might see the beginning of the change and then the end result for some of the things that I do. Once I'm done, again, the map will be pinned in the comments section for a link for you to download free of charge. All I ask is that you be a subscriber, but you don't have to. But it's my way to give back to the community. So thank you so much for watching and enjoy. Have a Merry Christmas and be safe. And now on to the map. All right, so today I was thinking about it, when I'm at work, I think about the map quite often, actually. This map is on my mind on how to make it better and just more awesome, essentially. And I was thinking about the sci-fi element and how I can, veer this map a little bit further away from the fantasy side of things. And so what I'm going to do is I love forests, right? Because you can hide so many things in forests. And as a DM, your creative leeway with what happens in that forest is astronomical. Because you can totally see anything, really, that you can think of in these lost and ancient forests, right? And so we're going to go ahead and make a race of sentient spiders, constructs, and we're going to call it Iron Web Forest, right? So it's a combination of trees and these sentient construct spiders, creating spindles of web made out of steel or metal, iron, whatever have you, right? And so we're going to go ahead and put that forest right here in this area, right before or after the swamp, depending on which way you're traveling, obviously. But we'll put it up in here somewhere before we get to the swamp area, because I'm not exactly sure where in this map I want to put the swamp. Down here, or more in the way, because down here it's not really that into the way, or it could start down here and just occupy like an oval space. I don't know. I'll have to think about the dimensions of my swamp. But right now, let's focus on the Iron Web Forest, okay? And at the end, I'm thinking of providing you a download link separate where I have everything named and everything not named. So this way, if you wish to, you can name everything yourself. I'm going to provide those both. Those are going to look a little bit different, obviously, because in addition to the names, things, some of the city or landmarks I put are not going to be there in order for you to be able to accommodate that yourselves if you wish. And we're going to go ahead and start here at the edge of the forest. Probably like around here, maybe. I'm going to just dot it. I'm going to move these trees or incorporate other things around it, but this is just so I could know where I kind of want the perimeter of this forest to be. Maybe... Nah... you know what? I want to move this out, actually. I would like this forest to have a freaking actual... a coastline. A double coastline, actually. Ooh. What could you do with that? The Iron Web Forest. You can have competing shipping companies hiring out mercenaries to go in there and harvest their iron webbing, right? You can make reinforced futuristic type of armor with it, or weaponry, or tubing, piping, whatever you want, really. And so you can have competing mercenary companies, or you can just have, if you don't want to have that detailed stuff, you can just have random people sometimes having the party have quest lines that lead them to the forest to harvest some of this stuff for them. So it's a much smaller modular chunk than if you made it into this big overarching thing. But it's going to be its own distinct zone, just like the other ones, right? So you could add a whole slew of things into it based on how much detail you want. You can even make it so that there's unique plants and stuff in here, so that if there's gatherers in your party, herbologists and alchemists and things like that, they can find specific, only here, rare items. I'm going to make it a rocky, hilly zone, okay? So the Ironweb Forest is going to be more theoretical. There's going to be trees and things there, but there's going to be a lot of outcroppings of rock and stone and invariably iron. All right, so we added these composites of hills here. And the forest is mostly going to be contained within up in there, and then this levels down here into the swamp area. So it's kind of the difference in elevation that sort of causes that swamp to stay put where it's at. Let's turn these hills into the proper color that I wish them to be. Okay, and we're going to move this title out of the way just real quick. We'll put it back when we're done, obviously, with the forest, but I just put it down there for a moment so you can see, that's where I'm going to have it. All right, so there we go. We got our rocky hills, and then now we got to color the ground. So we're going to color that some kind of rocky silver or gray mixture, perhaps. We'll see what it looks like here in a moment. Okay, so we'll fill this in here. Maybe make that lip up there a little bit sandy, maybe, but you don't have to. There's really no need to. Okay. There we go. And then we can add in some trees and fix up this water here that I messed up a bit. Alright, so here's the trees and then the shrubbery that I planned out. Like I said, this is going to be a continent map, but I'm also trying to make it a regional map as well for you. And the mixture of the two types of maps, requires a mixture, a blend of art styles, and a little bit of a suspension of disbelief too, obviously. Alright, so it looks a little bit better now. I put a lot of the trees in there and a few bushes. I added a little bit of a water hole here in the middle. I just think it adds to the aesthetic a little bit. And, it's a bit more realistic because of how much water is on our planet, right? So, you want to think about, not having hundreds and hundreds of miles of areas where there's no water or rivers and things like that on your maps, because then why is it not dry? Then you have to explain it away, and of course you can say magic did it, but how many times are you going to use that as your reasoning for things that happen in your world? You can use it indefinitely, I suppose, but it doesn't really feel, Or if you want to go the other route, you can say science did it instead of magic. Some type of rehydration solution, that makes it so that everything is very resistant to drought. And it was over the entire or most of the continent. And there'll be little areas with pock marks on it, where it's dry. But other than that, everything else will be relatively, lush. Alright, and there we go. There's the Ironweb Forest. We still have a little bit of time. I believe I can edit this down enough so that we can do something else. So let's make a radiation zone. How about that? I was thinking about a radiation zone for a bit, actually, since I thought of making this map at all. But I was trying to think of where would a radiation zone occur and why would it occur? Would it naturally occur, or are we going to have it occur because of an event? Because if we're having it occur because of an event, the cold snap would make a great event to cause this massive radiation zone as the wind carries the radiation, to the north. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to make this radiation zone right in here. I'm not sure if we're going to carry it across the river too, or just leave it in this spot right here. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so the zone is, we're going to have to represent it with black, sickly green colors, yellow. That's what's going to be the main colors of this zone. So let's go ahead and put down the black base. Alright, so we went ahead and made the black over here on the ground. Not quite extending to the river just yet, because I just want to see how big the zone looks like and things like that. And we incorporated the eerie mist from the previous zone to bleed in, or perhaps from the radiated zone. That's up to you. One thing I do recommend for you to do for a radiated zone is to go nuts with the creatures, with the mutations. Go insane with the mutations. Give them regeneration. Give them spitting attacks, acid attacks, bile. Larger, more hit points, regenerative, psionic. Think those types of things for this zone, for those creatures. And so maybe they require some type of special equipment in order to traverse this zone to get to the cold snap, or they could charter a way around the continent, right? But you could give them multiple ways, and there's risks and rewards for multiple the different ways, and those are for you to come up with. But I can think of quite a few. All right, so I just subtracted some of the land here. And so the water underneath would be exposed. And then we're going to go ahead and take the brush tool, and we could go here and let's look at some of the yellow colors. Yellow. Some of these, lava yellow would be okay. Let's see, slime. Sewer. Alright, so sewer water. That's a perfect color. Alright, so we're going to go down to size. Make it 15. And background. So this way it doesn't color sewer water all over our black. We'll zoom in here. Zoom back out. Alright, it's pockmarked. We could probably make it more aesthetically pleasing if we wish to. So, some of the reasons you can explain the radiation, like I said, the winds from the event that happened at the cold snap. You can have some kind of nuclear disaster like a Fukushima or Chernobyl. You can have radiation from the volcano, interacting with something in the environment. You can have some type of unknown mineral or unknown, metal, perhaps. Like it could be like something similar to a liquid metal, like mercury. And the earthquakes from the volcanoes nearby are causing a chain reaction in this newly surfaced material. And there could be research teams involved and scientists involved. If you want to go that route, you can use this unknown material as a fuel refinery. You can have all that kind of stuff going on if you wanted to make it an entire industry. All right, well, that's pretty good. I added some of the transportation paths here from the towers that I added from the previous session here, the Cold Snap. And so, you'll be able to activate those and, traverse between those, the players will, if you want them. If you don't, you could just explain them as old ruins the players could visit, and there could be different types of enemies in each one, or, different creatures could have taken up residence in them, or some of them could be like a hideout, gang affiliated, things like that, watchtowers, whatever you want them to be. I just added them in there for you, okay? So that's it. I got to get ready for work. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give me a subscribe. I could use all the followers I could get. I'd love and appreciate you all. Hopefully this map's turning out to be satisfactory to you. If there's anything you want to see in the map, go ahead and leave it in the comments section. I'll consider it. And if it's something that I can see, I'll go ahead and put my spin on it, and then I'll throw it in. All right? So thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you soon. Peace.